pieces of forged US dollars in denomination of 100, 19,000 pieces of euro in denomination of 100, and 3,400 pieces of euro in denomination of 500, knowing them to be forged and all valued at approximately 960,120,000. On the second count, the accused person faces the charge of forgery, contrary to Section 349 of the Penal Code, and the particulars are that on the first day of October 2018 at Sandalwood Apartment within Nairobi County, with others known before court, with intent to defraud, forged 54,000 pieces of forged US dollars in denomination of 100, 19,000 pieces of euro in denomination of 100, and 3,400 pieces of euro in denomination of 500, knowing them to be forged and all valued at approximately Kenya shillings 960,120,000. In respect to the third count, he faces the charge of obtaining money by false pretense, contrary to Section 313 of the Penal Code, and it's particularized that on diverse dates between 20th of before court, with intent to defraud, obtained from Dunstan Mungatana a sum of Kenya shillings, a sum of US dollars 1 million, which is approximated to Kenya shillings 76 million, by falsely pretending that you're in a position to invest for him in oil industry, a fact you knew to be false. On the fourth count and the last one, you face a similar charge of obtaining money by false pretense, contrary to Section 313, and the particulars are that on the 9th day of March 2017 at Sandalwood Apartments, Westlands within Nairobi County, jointly with others not before court, with intent to defraud, obtained from Makau Muteke a sum of US dollars 6,786, which is approximately Kenya shillings 700,000, by falsely pretending that you're in a position to invest for him in a business, a fact that you knew to be false. The accused person denied the charges and the matter proceeded to full trial, with the prosecution calling a total of 7 witnesses in a bid to prove its case. From the outset, I wish to point out that this matter has had several false starts. From the record, it attests to that fact. At some point, the accused person had opted for an out-of-court settlement, intimating that he was ready to compensate the complainants. That did not materialize. The matter was subsequently reallocated to me on the 8th day of June 2023. I go to the body of the prosecution evidence. The prosecution evidence can be gleaned from the evidence of PW1, Honorable Dunstan Mungatana, who, apart from being a senator of Tana River, is also an advocate of the High Court. He emotionally and excruciatingly but painstakingly took the court through his testimony. He stated that on the 28th day of September 2018, while watching Citizen News with his family, he saw the image of the accused person and his son after they had been arrested for allegation of being involved in fraudulent activities. The police were calling for anyone who had any complaint against the accused person to come forward. It was his testimony that the accused person was introduced to him by one Mohammed. He had met Mohammed at Lyco Regency in Nairobi, where Mohammed approached him and informed him that he works with somebody who is the accused person who had several business opportunities where he can invest in, being a politician. Upon inquiring on the type of business from Mohammed, Mohammed informed him that they were in the business of oil. It was his testimony that the following day he met Mohammed and they proceeded to an apartment in Hurlingham where he found the accused person. The accused person introduced himself as Abdullahi Tamba. The accused person informed him that he's a Chadian and a very wealthy man in the oil business. He was promised that once he invests, he was assured of 100% return on his investment in 6 months. He asked for time to consider that option. He further stated that Mohammed went to his office the following day and convinced him, and he found Mohammed to be a very truthful person. He later agreed to invest Kenya shillings 100,000. He went to the same apartment and found the accused person, and the accused person demanded the amount in US dollars, which he converted and handed it it to him. After that, the accused person approached him directly and notified him of another business opportunity. This time round, he testified that he invested Kenya shillings 5 million, which he sourced from friends, colleagues, and relatives, with the assurance that he'll earn double the amount in 6 months. He told the court that he took the money to the accused person, and similarly true to his word, after 6 months, the accused person gave him Kenya shillings 10 million. The business opportunity. However, this time, the accused person informed him that he has to invest quote unquote big. He asked him to bring $1 million US, which at the time was exchanging at a rate of Kenya shilling 76 per dollar. He frantically started looking for the money by selling some of his properties, shares. He took a loan, and the mammoth of it all, he mortgaged his 7-bedroom house in Karen, which, according to the witness, was valued at Kenya shilling 70 million. He further contended that wherever he could get any cash, he would convert it in US dollars and that venture. The accused person promised to double the amount and give him US dollars 2 million. The accused person, after 6 months, could not be traced, and until when he saw him during the 9 p.m. news in the television, in Citizen Television. He woefully stated that he lost everything, including his wife, who passed on. I've cited some novel there, you'll have a look at it. But described as from grace to grass, he fell from grace to grass. The PW2 PC Henry Maitai, an officer attached to the defunct flying squad under the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, testified that to the apartments, they proceeded to the house number 62. It was his testimony that they found Abdullahi Tamba, the accused person, hearing. After introducing themselves and explaining the purpose of their visit, they commenced a search and managed to recover the following. A, 54 pieces of forged US dollars in 100 denomination, which was produced as exhibit number 1. 19,000 pieces of forged euro in 100 denominations, which was produced as prosecution exhibit number 2. 3,400 pieces of forged euro in 500 denomination, which was produced as prosecution exhibit number 3. They later prepared an inventory of such, which was dated the 1st of October 2018, which was produced as prosecution exhibit number 4, which the accused person signed. He was later escorted to the flying squad office. The third witness was Onesman Dichu, a caretaker at Sandalwood apartment between the years 2010 and the year 2020. And he was able to recognize that person as one of their tenants. He led them to the said tenant's house, which was house number 6C2. It was his testimony that they found the door open. They got inside, but they did not find anyone in the sitting room. They proceeded to the bedroom area, where they found the accused person in one of the bedrooms. Inside the bedroom, he saw money in foreign currency on top of a mattress. It was his testimony that the accused was the one who had rented that apartment sometimes in the year 2015 or 2016. In cross-examination, he stated that when they got to the apartment, they found the door open, and he was not sure if the police officers had been there earlier. PW4 Makao Muteke agonizingly stated that in the month of March 2017, he went to Isili to purchase material for his business when he met Mohammed. It was his testimony that Mohammed told him that he had a friend who was giving loan without interest. Mohammed asked him to accompany him to the said person's house at Brookside Gardens. 211 of the Criminal Procedure Code explained to him. He opted to give a sworn statement and call no witness. Worth noting, at this stage, the learned counsel, Mr. Kangai, represented the accused person from that point in time. He told the court that on the first day of October, he was in his house at Sandalwood Apartment, Westlands, when police officers came in and arrested him. He averred that the apartment had other occupants other than him, and who were strangers to him. It was his evidence that he was arrested and taken to another room, and while at the corridor, the caretaker opened another room. The caretaker, who was prosecution witness number 3, opened another room. He contended that the exhibits were recovered in another room that did not belong to him. He vehemently denied forging any papers to resemble foreign currencies, and he was not found with any machine that could make the money. He submitted that the police brought a wooden box which did not belong to him, and it lacked his identification. He contended that he was only a guest. He faulted the investigations for not providing any lease or tenancy agreement. He stated that he knows Honorable Danson Mukatana and Mohammed Amin, who are his friends. He told the court that he met Mohammed in a hotel where he was staying when he came to Kenya. He denied being in the business of oil. He also denied receiving any money from PW1, that is Danson Mukatana. He submitted that no evidence was adduced to show that he sold his he submitted that no evidence was presented by PW1 to show that he sold his properties or borrowed from his friends, as he had alluded to. To buttress that, he said that nothing was produced to show that he received any money from Honorable Danson Mukatana. In respect to PW number 4, he contended that he came to his house seeking funds for his business, and that when he declined to give him cash, he alleged that he had taken cash from him. He denied receiving any money from either PW1 and PW number 4. I've done an analysis, so I'll just go to the disposition for the interest of time. It's a long one. I'll share with you the entirety of the decision. So in respect to the first count, it's the 7A of the Penal Code, I arrived at the verdict that the prosecution has proved beyond any iota of doubt that the accused person was found in possession of the said papers which resemble currency notes. So I hereby convict him on count 1 pursuant to section 215 of the CPC. In respect to the second count, on forgery, contrary to section 349 of the Penal Code, following my analysis, I find that the prosecution similarly has proved beyond any iota of doubt that the accused person indeed did the forgery, contrary to section 349 of the Penal Code. That the accused person obtained money from Honorable Danson Mukatana, and the reasons basically is that it was the accused person's word against the complainant, Honorable Danson Mukatana. Honorable Danson Mukatana intimated that he could be escorted to the accused person's house with his bodyguard. His bodyguard was not called as a witness, so I find with empathy that the prosecution did never discharge that burden. So I'll acquit him on that count, on the third count of obtaining money by false pretense. In respect to the fourth and the last one, on the charge of obtaining money by false pretense, and that was the allegation by Makao Muteke, I find that the prosecution have established. So the third count, I'll acquit him on the third count. However, on the fourth count, I find that the prosecution have discharged their burden, and I find the accused person guilty, and I convict him on the fourth count for the offense of obtaining money by false pretense. So in summary, I have acquitted him only on the third count, and that was the count with respect to the complaint launched by Honorable Danson Mukatana. Sentencing hearing, because I consider it to be also like a mini trial, and then I'll also call for a pre-sentencing report, so we can agree on a date for the same, for the sentencing hearing. It's okay.
The 9th of October?
Yeah. So I'll just print it now and give you a copy for your yeah. All right, thank you. Have a good afternoon.
Sorry, you're not coming in late? Very well. I'm now present.
Pieces of $4 in the denomination of 100, 19,000 pieces of euro in the denomination of 100, and 3,400 pieces of euro in the denomination of 500. Knowing them to be forged and all valued at approximately 960,120,000. On the second count, this is the charge of forgery, 349 code, and the particular that was the first day of in a certain department in Nairobi County, that was the first day of the sum of US dollars 1 million, which is approximated to 76 million, by falsely pretending that we were positioned to invest in the oil industry about the mutual funds. On the fourth count, the last one, we faced the charge, a single charge of obtaining money from corporations, 313, March 2017, at Sandalwood Apartments, Westlands within Nairobi County, joined with others not before court with intent to fraud, to defraud, obtained from account, a sum of US dollars 6,740,000 and several posts. The record out of court settlement intimating that he was ready for the settlement payments. That did not take place. The matter was subsequently communicated to me on the 8th day of June 2020. And I go to the body of prosecution evidence. The prosecution evidence can be gained from the evidence of PW1, Mohammed I'd like to witness the group and they proceeded to an apartment in Halligan where they found this person. The person introduced himself as a lighter. This person informed me that he was a very wealthy man for oil business. He was promised that once he invests, he was assured of 100% return on his investment in 6 months. He asked for time to consider that also. And further, he stated he asked him to bring $1 million, which at the time was exchanging at a rate of $76. He practically started looking for the money by selling some of his properties, shares, a loan, and the mammoth of it all, he mortgaged his 7-bedroom house in Terry, which, according to the witness, is valued at 70 million. Father contended that whenever he would get any cash, he would convert it into US dollars and then take it to the accused person. He stated that he would be accompanied by his bodyguard, who had even warned him against that venture. The accused person promised to double the amount and give him US dollars. The accused person after 6 months could not be traced until when he saw him during the 9 p.m. news. Citizen television. He woefully stated that he lost everything, including his wife who passed away. I've stated some novels there, but described as from grace to grace. It fell from grace to grace. The PW2 is the Henry High, an officer attached to the defunct blind spot at the directorial testified that the first day of October 2020, his testimony that he found the door open. They got inside, but they did not find anyone inside. They proceeded to the bedroom area where they found that this person in one of the bedrooms. Inside the bedroom, he saw money in foreign currency, proper commanders. testimony that the accused is the one who had rented that apartment sometimes in the year 2015 or 2016. In cross-examination, he was making our voice. It was testimony that the accused person asked him to give him 2 million, and in return, he would get 20 million Kenya shillings. He quickly took a matatu to his rural home in Windi, and together with his wife, went to a Charlotte, who loaned him Kenya shillings 700,000. He told the court that on the 9th of 1st of June 2015, on a Sunday, he said that this person who was lamenting that he had left the village, one week, in the morning he went to the house, waiting at the corner by the two. He was approached by 2 people whom he later learned from police officers. He was led to the accused person's house. He told the court that the accused person tried to block him from having entrance into the house. The officer pushed away him. Inside the room, he told the court that he saw several currencies in US dollars and euros, and which he was able to identify as key possessions of the one who was later arrested and in court. PW number 6 was expert witness from the Samson Amana, qualified forensic document examiner of the National Forensic Laboratory, the ECI, with the court that
previous convictions in other courts that are not